his challenger, Ed Galrain, who was backed by Trump. According to the reportings and the results shared, Ed Galrain won with just 55% of the vote. It was described as a major upset. Some frame it as how much influence does Trump have on the Republican Party. Other coverage just focuses on the amount of money spent, which we'll get into that later. It was quite a bit of money, and all that foreign influence in this race. So from the get-go, it wasn't just a quiet local primary. It got national news for about a week straight. So you might be asking yourself, why did this race get so much attention? First, Massie is a well-known congressman with a very independent take on a couple things. So, for instance, 90% of the time he would vote with the Republican Party. And then 10% of the time, for instance, he was trying to push out the Epstein files. And I think this is a big, big reason why they did not want him to be in Congress anymore. Is because this guy was siding with the Democratic Party and trying to release the Epstein files, which the Republican Party should have been doing in the first place because that's what Trump marketed his entire 2024 campaign on. Second, it reportedly came in a lot of outside spending. That made it more than just a local primary. It became a proxy battle over influence, control, and the control of the Republican Party. Third, people on both sides of the party made insane claims. Massie and his team, I think it's pretty clear that it showed what type of money what money can get you when it comes to politicians. I mean, there was an incredible amount of money pushed to getting this guy out. And I think it's important that everyone kind of open their eyes and just take a look at what's going on. His critics, which is just the right, have said that it was just politics. All the money that was spent that's just politics. Which, guys, let's be realistic. That was an extremely outrageous number. I think it was close to $30 million spent for Kentucky in this primary. I think that is important that we look into that. So, one of the big claims here is that AIPAC and allied lobbies played a big role in this, which they did. If you don't know what AIPAC is, it's the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee. And they have an extreme amount of influence. I think that's undeniable for everyone. They have an extreme amount of influence on both the left and the right. They fund 85% of our Congress. And I think that's important that everyone knows that right now. The race involved massive outside spending. And that raised a lot of questions of whether wealthy donors have control or the people. Now, let's get straight here. None of this is illegal. And I think that's one of the main problems is foreign funding towards our politicians is not illegal. Through PACs. Now, it all has to be documented, but I think we know how that goes. Now, a lot of people say that. In my opinion, I think it leans towards supporting more outside interests than the interests of the United States citizens. So I think that plays a big role. So let's be real here. None of it was rigged, but it was set up in a way for Thomas Massie to lose. And it's all set up in a way for anyone who goes against these public affairs committees or really Donald Trump and his cabinet. You see, if you go against the president and I think the real thing here is loyalty. And Trump wanted loyalty. And Trump wants everyone to be on the same page as him. But you see, Trump's on the same page as the Israelis. And I don't agree with anything that the Israelis are doing right now in Gaza and their political, they have so much influence on our American politicians that it's not even funny anymore. And this is one of the reasons I'm making this video, is to really show y'all proof here. This happened yesterday. He was officially, the primary ended yesterday, the 19th. And it's now y'all can really see that these people play huge roles in this, and it's not even funny. So I think Thomas Massie supporters would say that it was an unfair election rather than it was a rigged election. Because rigged implies that there was false ballots put in and all that, and right now there's just no concrete proof of any of that. So I'm not gonna start making accusations, and I think it's important that you don't start making accusations. Now, a lot of reasons that supporters say that it was unfair is one, the outside, and the powerful political networks targeting him. Like, for instance, they had Ed on Fox News multiple times throughout this entire week, and they didn't have Massie on a single time. It seemed more or less than a local primary election, and it seemed more national. So I think that's when it gets serious, is because the way that it's supposed to play is you have a set congressman that you elect, and he's supposed to represent Kentucky, right? I think what they're doing is they're just buying votes. Like, I think Ed Bain is obviously not going to try and release the Epstein files. I think he's obviously going to vote with whatever Donald Trump tells him to vote for. But we don't know. Nobody knows these things. But it seems like this is what it is. And the thing that I really liked about Massie, and I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of bias here, is Massie's, I guess, influence all came from grassroots movements, and all of his donors were like small, were just normal, regular citizens. And that's what I really want to emphasize here is in 2016, I'd say, I don't know what the exact number is, but the majority of Trump's donors, like the majority of where he got his money from, was from small people, like normal regular citizens donating $200 or less. And that's what he got his money from to run the campaign in 2016. Because I think, if y'all don't know, he spoke out several times in his 2016 run that foreign lobbies play a big role. And for some reason, it's just like nobody even realizes anymore. And I think that the mainstream media, like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, like all these big news corporations, who I think the younger generation knows, like we don't watch that. And it's just like I feel like it's just older people who are really influenced by these, I guess you'd say, channels. Now, a lot of people are like, outside groups are allowed to participate, and legally, yes. And I think that that's a problem. And so I guess my main thing here is the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee and outside donors donating inside to our politicians so those politicians can vote based off of what they think, not what we think. And I don't think it was set up to be like this. I don't think it was set up for Israel to pump millions and millions of dollars towards this race. I don't think it was set up for that. I think it was, to be honest, I don't even know why it was set up. I think it's kind of stupid, and I don't think that any foreign country should have any influence on what our politicians think and what they vote for. So I think it's important that we run down what we really went over so far so y'all can really just remember it. And, you know, I'd say I'm a young adult, so I think now it's time more than ever that we start really paying attention to our legislation and our president and our Congress, because they make a lot of decisions for you and me. And, well, I think it's important that people start stepping up and waking up. So here's the things that we've went over. This primary was extremely expensive. It was heavily influenced by outside groups. It was widely discussed as a battle over money and power. So if you found this video helpful, then make sure you like, you subscribe, and you hit the post notification bells, because that's the only way that I'm really able to grow and it really pushes it out to the algorithm when you guys comment, you like, and you subscribe. And that's just the smallest thing that you guys can do. I'm not going to ask for any money, nothing like that. I just need your like, subscription, and a comment, please. Just tell me what you guys think about this. I really want to know what you guys think. So thank you for watching.